January has come to an end, and I am going to rank all four, almost said five, but all four January 2024 movies that I watched ranked from the worst to the best. And coming in fourth place, we have Role Play. And this is your kind of standard, average kind of action comedy movie. But the problem with the movie is the action isn't really particularly great, and the comedy isn't really super funny. It's not at all like a terrible, god-awful movie, but it's a movie where you'll watch it and then you'll forget about it almost as you're watching it. Like, it's got an interesting premise where it's this guy who finds out that his wife is like a spy. And I will say that there is some funny jokes in here. Grammar, hello. There are some funny jokes in here. And there are some scenes that I genuinely was kind of surprised about. Like, it kind of threw me off, like where they try to go for a twist. And I will, to its credit, it kind of did a good twist, I think. And this is like a movie like where it's so average, it's not particularly bad in any way. It doesn't really do anything wrong on a story level, but it's just these characters aren't really super interesting. And it's an interesting premise. And I think that, though, this is like the version where you probably could see a much better version of this movie existing, but just the movie we got just isn't really particularly anything special. And coming in third place, we have Lift. This is just another one of those action comedy movies on Netflix where, I mean, Kevin Hart's in it, but really the standout star of the show is Vincent D'Onofrio in here. But hey, he's not the main character, but he's in here and he's actually pretty fun. And this is what makes this actually pretty decent is this is a heist film. And like many heist films, the best thing about it is seeing all these little intricate where everything goes, where everybody has to be at any given point for this heist to be able to work. And this is very interesting as long as you kind of shut your brain off, because like the main premise is like they're stealing millions of pounds of, well, not pounds, but millions of dollars worth of gold, which is like in a plane. Like, probably would that even be able to fly? I mean, that's what I was thinking. Hey, maybe it would, and all the math checks out. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. But I couldn't help but thinking, I'm like, that's a lot of gold. I don't know if that plane is going to be able to fly, but maybe I'm just stupid. And it's another one of those things where when you have all of this gold, a lot of it in this movie, you're kind of thinking, how does no one notice this? Like, this is a heist movie. Like, how does no one notice that anything's being stolen? It's kind of weird. Like I said, this is a movie where you should know exactly what you're going to get. And there is some fun banter between the characters, and it does kind of what it sets out to do, just be like a generic kind of action comedy, and I think it does it well. Like I said, Vincent D'Onofrio is the standout here, and Kevin Hart is fine. Like, he's kind of just chill, like the same thing he does in every role, but nothing particularly terrible. And there is a genuinely really funny scene where it's so awkward, but it's actually really funny on the plane. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But that scene actually was kind of really, really funny. But for the most part, it's just kind of like your stereotypically fun-ish action comedy. And coming in second place, we have Badland Hunters. This is a Korean language film. And one thing I think that makes this movie is very interesting because it's a post-apocalyptic movie. But the action in this movie is kind of just crazy. Like, it's very R-rated, but it's very gory, but almost in the sense of, like, it's action like you wouldn't even really think of. And that's one thing I always find so interesting whenever I watch a non-English language film. A lot of the ways I feel like their action goes, specifically when you're talking about Asian movies, the way that their action is, like, done is just so cool and unique. And I think that you're going to get, if you just want to have a fun, crazy action movie, you're going to get that. But, I mean, this was also another one of these movies where I didn't really get super interested in any of the characters. Let's say, like, none of the characters, like, I don't hate any of them, but, like, I couldn't even really remember any of their names. Like, I didn't really care enough about it. But this is a movie where it's like, you want to have some fun action, you're going to get it. This movie, visually, it also looks cool with it being, like, a post-apocalyptic movie. But there's really, in this, like I said, this is also like just a movie where it's a perfect example of just like a really over the top crazy action movie, but there's nothing really you're gonna get out of it, and that's fine though. And coming in number one, we have The Beekeeper. This is another one of those movies where it is just another insane, over the top action movie that is ultra violent and has extremely creative kills. And that's what you kind of want at this movie. And I mean, hey, I'm a big fan of Jason Statham. I think that he's just a really fun actor. Like, he's an actor where, you kind of know what you're going to get out of him every single time. But when you watch him, you can't help but have fun. And the way he plays, like, I feel like all of these characters is, like, he's kind of almost so over the top and cocky, but at the same time, he's kind of correct in it, because he can really almost take down anybody. And that's what makes it really fun. And there's just a sense of also enough heart here where our main character of Mr. Clay, like, what sets off the whole movie is, like, he has this connection, like, he's taking care of this old lady, or he's just, like, a really good friend with her, and then when she gets killed, he's like, okay, I'm gonna hunt you down. And it gives enough of that emotional, just enough emotion to this character where he's not, like, just some mindless killing machine. Like, he is, but he also, like, he feels like a real person because he actually does care about people. And it's so funny because, like, how he plays everything so straight, where he's like, oh, I'm here to bend this place to the ground. And it's just, like, the fun, over-the-top stuff like that is what I thought that just made this movie a ton of fun. So, yeah, this is definitely my favorite movie of January 2024, the best movie of the month for me. And so it comes in at number one.